When we talk about the two products, ClariFly and Altosid, we're kind of reaching the same goal with each product, but they have different modes of action, plus they have different targeted species. We'll start with Altosid. Altosid, the target species, is the hornfly. Altosid mimics a hormone, comes in contact with the compound in the manure. It causes that fly to think it's already an adult, so it stops its life cycle right there. ClariFly is a chitin inhibitor. What that does is prevent that from laying down an exoskeleton. So, same procedure. Animal consumes it, goes all the way through the digestive system into the manure. The fly lays her egg in that manure. The larva comes in contact with it. That larva cannot lay down an exoskeleton, does not become an adult fly. ClariFly controls 4 different species of flies: housefly, hornfly, stable fly, and face fly. We would typically use ClariFly in a situation where we have animals in confinement, whether they're confined in say, in a dairy situation, in a freestall barn, or if the cattle are in a feedlot situation, or in very small paddocks, very small pastures. So, we would choose that based on the fact that that's where the housefly and the stable fly reproduce. They can reproduce in any kind of organic matter, where the hornfly and the face fly can only reproduce in an intact cowpat. They cannot reproduce just anywhere else. It has to be an intact cowpat. So cattle in confinement, ClariFly is the product of choice. Cattle on pasture, we're going to look towards Altosid as our product. Hornflies can only reproduce in that intact cowpat. So it really lends Altosid to be very, very efficacious when we're talking about a hornfly infestation. So why would a producer, what would be his choice? How does he make his choice? Is he going to use ClariFly or Altosid? Well, number one, we need to target the species that we're talking about. Let's identify our fly. Do we have a hornfly, face fly, stable fly, housefly? Once we decide that, we know what our situation is from the species standpoint. Where are we are the cattle on pasture? Are the cattle in a small enclosure? Are they in a feedlot? Are they in a dairy paddock? So if we're looking at animals in confinement of some sort, typically we're going to choose ClariFly for that situation. Not to say that ClariFly is not as efficacious in a pasture situation. We can go either way with either product when we're talking about pasture, but when we're talking about cattle in confinement, we're going to choose ClariFly. Typically, cattle on pasture, we're gonna go with Altosid because we're talking about an intact cowpat in that situation. One thing Central Life Sciences will do is, if a producer has a question, which product is the product of choice for him, we will be there for him. From a consultative situation, we're going to be there to help him make that decision. When we get on a person's ranch, on his farm, all of us are trained to be able to pick out, what's going on in his situation, identify his flies, look at his operation as a whole, and be able to give him a really good idea of what product to use, be it ClariFly or Altosid.